Want to ask you a question about the illustration you're looking at. I don't remember exactly where we found this illustration of somebody stuck in jail, a person stuck in jail, and it appears as if they have plenty of room to get out and live life again, but they're holding on to these two bars, and for some reason they won't let go of those bars. Well, hello, I'm Dave Matthews from Spark of Life, where our mission is to walk beside those who are really struggling with life for lots of reasons. A huge loss, a loss of a child or a parent or a spouse, a betrayal, an abuse from the past, any kind of major loss that you might be dealing with. And our mission is to walk beside people and to encourage them and to equip them so that they can let go of those bars and get out of jail. You're in jail right now. And metaphorically, what we mean by that is that you're stuck in the pain of your loss and you are having a hard time living again after maybe the dearest on earth to you died, or maybe an expectation was shattered, a dream was shattered because your husband or your wife left you, and you're struggling out there with finding life again in the midst of your deep pain. So the question is, why is this person still in jail? Well, if you look at this illustration, and you can look at it in a lot of different ways, right? But if you look at it, we're gonna use three concepts of why this person's still stuck in jail. One's the past, one's the future, and one's the present. When you look at loss, and we've dealt with thousands of people from all over the world that are stuck in jail, in the jail of their minds, because they lost a loved one and they have tremendous guilt. And when they look at the past, they might not only have guilt about what they did or did not do, they might have anger toward the person who left them, or they might even be angry at their God because why didn't God show up and do something about it? So they could be full of guilt. You might be full of guilt right now. Why didn't I do something I should have done in the past? Maybe my loved one wouldn't have died. We meet the strongest people in the world. We meet people who are so weak and they feel so defeated. And by the time we get to know them, we recognize that no, they think they're weak, but they're actually strong. So you have within you the power to get up and live forward with your pain. You have that power, but you don't feel it all the time. You feel overwhelmed. And a lot of times it's because of the past. I'll never forget one father who told me he had divorced his mother, the child's mother, and was a pretty lousy father. And when his son, 22 years old, took his life by suicide, he had all these guilt feelings because he said, if I'd have only been faithful to his mother, if I'd have only stayed with the marriage, if I'd have only called my son more, if I'd only had a better relationship with my son, maybe he wouldn't have killed himself. And this guilt was just overwhelming him. And he was tied to this thing, if only I had called my son that day. And so this guy didn't want to get out of jail. He wanted out of jail, but he didn't think he deserved to be out of jail. Is that where you are? You don't deserve it. You've lost the dearest on earth to you, and you're racked with guilt, and you don't deserve to get out of jail. I could tell you stories all day long about that. Or maybe you're so angry. You might even be angry at the one who died. Maybe it was their fault that they died. Maybe they didn't put on their seatbelt when they drove the car. Maybe they had too much to drink and they got in an accident, or whatever it is. And you're angry at them, but you don't think you can express that anger because, well, they, they died. And you're so angry, you don't even know why you're angry, and you don't know how to get rid of that anger. Maybe you're angry at God. Why didn't God show up and protect your child from that accident? Why didn't God save your marriage? Why didn't your God intervene and heal that person of cancer? And maybe you're so bitter at God that you don't want to get out and live life again. And you've kind of given up. Well, today we want to help you to know that there's help out there to help you get out of that guilt feeling of the past. So the past might haunt you, is why this person's still in jail. And what about the future? Well, the future might petrify you. You might be full of fear to live life without that loved one who has died. Or maybe somebody betrayed you, and you're afraid to even love again because you've been hurt so badly. Maybe it was a mother and dad or dad that betrayed you. Maybe a relative abused you 30 years ago, and you've been living in the prison of that for all your life. And we want to walk beside you to help you to realize that the future does not have to petrify you and immobilize you. We had a lady who had been married over 50 years to her husband. She told us when she came to the retreat, she had given up on life. She was in the prison of her own jail because thinking of life without her husband, it just didn't make sense to her how she could do it. So the fear of the future kept her in jail, and fear of the future can just petrify you and paralyze you. Maybe you're afraid of the future that you just can't live without the person you lost. Maybe that's why you're stuck in jail. And the third reason people stay stuck in jail and they don't realize they can get out is because their emotions paralyze them. We've said in other videos, and we say it often in our work, that sometimes grievers, and you might be there, buy into this false narrative that my present emotions equal my future realities. So because I'm so overwhelmed with hopelessness and helplessness and deep, deep sadness and maybe anger, I assume that that's the way I'm going to always feel in the future. And at Spark of Life, we got news for you. There is hope for those who are paralyzed by their fear of the future, and that the past haunts them, and that they're living in the present paralyzes them because they assume their present emotions equal future reality. We've got good news for you. All your emotions, all those fears, holding on to those bars in the jail and refusing to get out of jail is an absolute natural and normal thing when you experience devastating loss. Instead of beating yourself up and staying in jail because you cannot imagine living outside that jail, the jail of your mind, we want to challenge you today. We want to challenge you to reframe the jail. Maybe we need to go to the jail after loss because we that's the nature of grief. There are some religions, Jewish religion comes to mind, that if you study Jewish history, there was a time that many Jews adopted this with grief, that for 1 year they would grieve. They would wear the black clothes. They would grieve for a year, but after a year they would decide to get up and wash their face and then live life. Maybe we have to go to jail for a while. The what ifs of the past, the fear of the present, the future, living life without our loved ones, and that's called deep, deep grief. And we want to encourage you today that you don't have to stay in that jail. That I need to let go of the fear of the past and the regrets of the past and the resentments of the past and what people did to me, and reframe the past. We talk a lot about it at Spark, because at a Spark of Life retreat, in our Spark of Life online course, we want to help people get out of that jail. You don't have to stay in jail the rest of your life. Spark of Life, what we do in all our work online and all our work in our in-person retreats, our online retreats, and our online course of grief, we help you reframe the past that keeps you bound to releasing you, as we help you complete those regrets and resentments of the past, the people who have hurt you, how you've hurt other people. We help you deal with your fear of the future by equipping you, by showing you that it's all right to have those emotions and to feel as if you can never live again, that that's normal. And we help you normalize those feelings so they don't bound you in jail for the rest of your life. And we help you deal with the present, that you can let go of those bars, and you won't be alone when you step out of that jail. There's something very powerful about having somebody to walk beside you, not a perfect person or not a perfect organization, but from people who really do care, who've really been there, and who will walk with you. So at Spark of Life, we want to encourage you to get out of jail. And if you need help, we'll be there for you. Go to sparkoflife.org and see some of the things that we might be able to do to help you in this grief journey. We've had thousands of people that have allowed us on this journey with them. At Spark of Life, we believe you can have hope, that you can let go of those bars of the past and the future and step into the present. Life is always lived better when I live it in the present. At Spark of Life, There's always hope.